What's up, everybody? Mike Singer at blueandgold.com with my sidekick Mason Plummer here with our second weekly recruiting wrap. It's Friday morning, January 22nd. We are here to bring you what happened this week in the world of Notre Dame football recruiting. And Mason, I'd probably say the biggest thing that happened this week was Notre Dame landing a commitment from Tyson Ford, 6'6", 250, out of the St. Louis area, ranked as the number 64 overall player in the country, number 5 strong side defensive end, and number 3 player in the state of Missouri. So, Mason, tell us why this is a big commitment and tell the people why it was a surprise, too, that he picked Notre Dame.
Yeah, this was a big commitment. And man, anytime you land one of the better defensive ends in the country, it's a big deal. He already has the frame to, as you mentioned, 6'6", 250. The guy's just huge. And then once you hear him in interviews, like Mike, you did a great interview with him right after his announcement. And he just sounds like a Notre Dame kid. I know that's thrown around a lot, but he just speaks so well. And he's just so excited for the opportunity that he's going to have at Notre Dame to succeed on and off the field. So I'm really excited to see what he can do once he comes to Notre Dame. But yeah, you mentioned it was kind of a surprise. So he was an Oklahoma lean for a long time, even heading into the weekend before his commitment. And kudos to Marcus Freeman and Mike Elston for really staying on him. They really preached that 4 for 40, what Notre Dame can offer him after football. If it doesn't work out, everybody wants to play in the NFL, but it can't always happen. So his life after football, and they got through to him. And Ford committed to Notre Dame on the 18th, and yeah, a big commitment for the 2022 class.
Yeah, I think people really need to understand. Mason, when you mentioned he's a Oklahoma lean before his Notre Dame commitment, I mean, we're talking really Oklahoma lean. Like, that family purchased Oklahoma gear in
Right.
advance for their announcement on January 18th. And then flip of the switch, Notre Dame kind of at the last hour.
So, Mike, this past week, over just the past couple of days, it seems like Marcus Freeman is getting some offers out to his top defensive back targets. 4 new safety offers. Go ahead and break those down for everybody.
Yeah, Dalen Everett, IMG Academy. Actually, a couple offers from IMG Academy that we'll get to. Everett is from Norfolk, Virginia. You see on the screen there, 100% future cast right now for Clemson. But we will see if Notre Dame. I mean, look, Freeman's coming in, and I've said this in articles and other videos and podcasts we've done here at Blue and Gold, that Freeman's coming in here and saying, I don't care, how you feel about Notre Dame. I'm going to make you like them because of me.
Right.
So, Everett, from what I'm told, is excited about the Notre Dame offer. We'll see, if the Irish are able to make much of a move there. Also, Kamari Ramsey, borderline 5-star prospect, also from IMG. He's actually from the state of Florida, ranked as the number 22 overall prospect in the country, which I've seen some fans kind of get confused by that and say, well, I thought that was a 5-star. On Rivals, that recruit or the Rivals rating that you see, that 6.0 means he's a high 4-star. 6.1 would be a 5-star. So your national ranking does not mean anything about what your 4 or 5-star status ranking is. It's all about that recruit ranking. So, but obviously he is on the cusp of 5-star status, number 1 safety in the country, number 3 player in the Sunshine State. Plenty of work for Notre Dame to do for both of these guys, but you got to get more Kyle Hamilton like players in your back end. Moving to a couple other guys, Cooper Barkate, 6'1", 180 pounds. This is a guy who was playing smaller ball in California. He actually played for former Notre Dame player Corey Minor. So Cooper knows Notre Dame well. Once he got the offer from the Fighting Irish, he called up Corey to talk about it. And, this offer was dished out by Brian Polian. So Mike Mickens is involved too. Freeman's offering new prospects. So got to mention that there's certainly other coaches involved. It's not just the Marcus Freeman show. And then you also have KJ Winston, 6'3", 190 pounds, listed as a receiver, but a true safety in my mind, from DeMatha in Hyattsville. Of course, that's an area that is very Notre Dame friendly. It's where Mike Bray went to school, Notre Dame's basketball coach. So a couple of 3-star guys, but you pop on the tape and you'll see why Notre Dame offered these guys. And I just want to mention real quick, folks. Um, if you're seeing 3 stars on the screen and you're upset, do you really want Marcus Freeman and the Notre Dame staff to just offer kids based on what they're ranked on Rivals? You trust me and like Mason, like people like journalists like us to like Mason and I don't personally rank the kids, but you would trust people like me and Mason to determine who Notre Dame should be offering. I mean, come on, guys. So Notre Dame would be very bad at their job in recruiting if they just offered guys based on star ranking. So I really like these new offers out by Notre Dame.
I definitely do too. I think it's 2 places that Notre Dame should be succeeding as well, Mike. I think that you mentioned that with both offers, with Mater Dei and with DeMatha, both places that should be Notre Dame friendly and have been in the past. So 2 places Notre Dame should be successful at. I guess we'll see where these 2 offers end up.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, Barkaday was playing at St. Margaret's with Corey Minor and then transferred to Mater Dei for this past fall. And of course, California did not have a 2020 football season. Neither did Maryland. So this is based off sophomore tape and then what Notre Dame has been able to gather about these guys here recently. Notre Dame offered a USC linebacker commitment on Thursday. And yes, folks, I'm about to try to pronounce this name. Nuafe Tuihalamaka. But he goes by Junior. So for now on, we're going to call him Junior. So he is ranked as the number 65 overall player in the country, number 1 inside linebacker, which I saw that I was like, man, the number 1 inside linebacker is ranked 65 overall in the country. And number 9 player in the state of California, committed to USC back in February, but he's picked up other offers this year since his pledge to the Trojans. I know he's talking to other schools, so Mason, Notre Dame's got plenty of work to do here, but I mean, maybe we're feeling kind of optimistic that Notre Dame could pull off this flip.
I do feel a little bit optimistic, and it's terrible to read into social media, but a lot of times when a guy gets an offer, if he's really committed to a school, he won't tweet it out at all. And he seemed very excited to have the Notre Dame offer and tweet it out. Also, I wanted to mention that there's a lot of linebacker targets in this 2022 class, and it seems like Notre Dame can't miss at this point. That's scary to say, but man, there's a lot of them: inside, outside, rover, drop. Guys move to drop end, weak side, defensive end, whatever. Man, there's a lot of targets, and it seems like Notre Dame's going to be great, whichever 3, 4. I don't know how many they're going to take, but whoever they land, it seems like they're in a great spot.
I really agree with you there. I know, and talking to a source close to Nuafe Jr., he's been training to rush off the end too. I mean dude's big at 6'3", 230, so he could play anywhere. I mean, Notre Dame offered, names escape me off the top of my head, but the 4-star linebacker from Utah recently, in addition to Marcus Freeman's pretty much recruiting all the linebacker targets that Clark Lee's regime, him and Nick Lazinski were recruiting. So plenty of guys there, which I would say brings us into our next point here, Mason, is Marcus Freeman just continues to crush it. I mean, I've been talking about this all week, that like I'm on this Marcus Freeman hype train. And then in our Irish Huddle podcast, which you can find anywhere you listen to your podcasts, or here on our YouTube page, I was talking to Loose Emoji, basically trying to get him on the voice of reason here, of like, tell me to slow down on this Marcus Freeman hype train. It's just, am I being too much? And Lou basically said that, look, this is what Brian Kelly wanted, was a dynamic recruiter, and someone that can really like bring in the dudes. And from what Marcus Freeman did at Cincinnati and his background as an Ohio State player, and I don't know, how impressed have you been with him on the recruiting front? I mean, it's only been a couple weeks, and he's landed 1 commitment, and I think Tyson Ford may have switch that silent commitment from OU to Notre Dame, even if Marcus Freeman wasn't there. That's just my opinion. But from just what we're seeing, he's doing like more recruiting than I'm used to seeing from a Notre Dame defensive coordinator.
He's keeping us busy, that's for sure, but it's not a bad thing. I think there were really high expectations of him as a coordinator. We haven't even seen him call any plays yet on defense, but as a recruiter too, coming in from Cincinnati, sky high expectations, and he's blown that out of the water. It seems like in just a couple weeks, with all the offers going out, he played a little bit of a factor in Ford's recruitment, as we've covered. It wasn't all him, but there are some recruitments that I think are going to be just about all him, and he's staying all over guys. And we've highlighted on blueandgold.com the amount of calls and FaceTimes. He's getting personal with guys and making that connection already. I think it's an underutilized tool that he's using very well. So he has these ways about him. He's very charismatic. I think Patrick Engel mentioned that he's infectious. His personality, he just gets to guys, and it's something special, and it's super fun for us to be able to watch. And fans should be loving it right now.
Yeah, you mentioned that article from Patrick Engel. We will leave that in the comments section. The last thing we want to make you guys aware of before we get out of here is our blueandgold.com recruiting issue. Mason, myself, and the rest of the Blue and Gold staff is putting together 80 pages of football recruiting content. Everything you need to know about the 2021 recruiting class, and also a early breakdown of everyone you need to know in the 2022 recruiting class at this point for Notre Dame. And here's the catch: $6. So if you pre-order this thing, you get it for $6. Not only will this give you a ton of information and kind of, again, everything you need to know, but I mean, this is a great thing to, put on the bookshelf and look at it in 5 years from now and see what we got right and what we were saying then. So make sure you check that out. We will leave the link to purchase this in the description box of this video. The link, though, is bluegoldonline.com.
Yeah, really, it's just your one-stop shop for everything. And I wanted to mention too, I saw on our message board that the people were asking, well, are these just the same articles that are online? The answer is no. There's a lot of stuff in there that you would not get as just looking through the website. There's some things in there that are exclusive to the magazine that you're going to want to read. I think it's can't miss stuff.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Getting to know these players, all the analysis. I'm fired up about it. It's my favorite thing of the year. So appreciate everyone watching this video. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and we would appreciate that. You guys have a great weekend.